It seems like over the last several months, we've been speaking more about Nicki Minaj and her controversies and political beliefs in comparison to her music and musical career, with many people believing that she's trying to shift from the main audience and core fan base that she built for so many years. For many of her new conservative fans, she is being looked at as a saving grace for the industry due to her advocacy for Christianity, as well as also exposing the dark truths of the music industry as well. But for so many people who have kept up with her career for a long period of time, it can be hard to take her new God-fearing image seriously, due to her high track record of supporting and defending terrible men, her track record of bullying specifically up-and-coming women in the industry as well. And even one can argue, has her music had a positive impact on the generation as well? We'll get into that. Nicki Minaj needs no introduction. She is undoubtedly one of the biggest artists of our generation. She has broken many records, such as becoming the first female rapper with multiple diamond certified solo songs. She has won over 400 industry awards as well as she has also broken the record for the most Billboard Hot 100 entries by a female rapper of all time. She pioneered and took female rap to a whole new level and inspired a whole generation of rappers and artists to talk and say about whatever it is that they want to talk and say about. But before she became the megastar that we all know of, she was simply just Anika, a girl that was born and raised in Trinidad and Tobago and moved to Queens, New York at the age of 5 years old. So when you look at someone like Nicki Minaj, it would be wrong to say that her legacy and her impact is all tied to charts and awards and sales. It's actually so much deeper than that. She gives so many people hope. She's given so many of her fan bases hope to show that you can come from humble beginnings. You can come from not the richest family, but you can still make it and still be successful. And something that's been so consistent throughout her journey and her legacy as an artist is her advocacy for getting her fans to stay in school. She's actually paid off so many of her fans' tuition.
Bob, stay in school. Don't you ever be lazy. Don't you ever complain about hard work. Work hard, it pays off.
And throughout her career as well, she has been a huge advocate for the LGBT community as well.
I would encourage my gay fans to be fighters and to be brave.
Throughout Nicki Minaj's early career, so many people told her that she was too theatrical, she was too loud, she was too eccentric. And these are things that we have told queer people throughout the years, throughout generations as well. And her boldness, her advocacy, her willingness to just be unapologetically herself has resonated with so many people throughout the years. But over the last several months, there's been a huge divide within her fan base due to her advocacy of lots of different people, such as Ben Shapiro and Erica Kirk. And I think it's safe to say that people like Erica Kirk don't have the same viewpoints or political beliefs or social beliefs as her main core fan base audience. I feel like with her new conservative fan base that she's appealing to, on a musical standpoint, they're only really up to date with her biggest mega hits, but haven't really been following her musical career year by year by year by year. And I'll also argue as well that maybe they're not up to date with the controversies that she's gotten herself into. And my oh my oh my are they controversies. Nicki Minaj is currently married to a man by the name of Kenneth Petty, and they actually first met when they were students in high school, but reconnected many years later in the year 2018. The high school lovers reunited all these years later kind of sounds like a movie until you realise that the man is a registered sex offender. Oof. In April 1995, Kenneth Petty was convicted of attempted R-word in the first degree. He was sentenced to 18 to 54 months in prison and is listed as a level 2 registered S offender in New York State. He spent 4 years in prison for the assault as well. Kenneth was arrested again in March 2020 because he failed to register as a offender when he moved in with Nicki in California. And one of the biggest questions that perplexes so many fans and non-fans as well is they look at Nicki Minaj and they say, why would you want to associate yourself with someone like this? Why would you want to defend someone like this? But this isn't the first time that Nicki Minaj has defended a horrible human being. In 2017, her brother by the name of Jelani Mirage was convicted of predatory SA and child endangerment. Jelani's victim was an 11-year-old girl, his former stepdaughter, who said in the 2015 trial that she was repeatedly R-worded by Jelani while her mother was at work. The only time that I could defend Nicki Minaj in this horrible situation is, just because you have the same last name as someone doesn't mean you have to take responsibility towards their actions. I.e., if she came out and made a statement and said, I'm discussing my brother, I knew absolutely nothing about this, then fair enough, we don't need to harass her for her brother's horrible wrongdoings. But to take it the furthest step and to actually defend her brother thick and through, now that is disgusting. Nicki Minaj consistently and strongly supported her older brother Jelani throughout his entire legal proceedings. Following his 2017 bond, she actually paid his initial $100,000 bond and submitted a character letter to the judge describing him as a patient, kind and gentle person. In 2020, Jelani was sentenced to 25 years to life in prison after prosecutors said that the DNA evidence linked to Mirage was found on the girl's pajama bottoms. Nicki Minaj's close association with terrible, terrible people has become an ongoing conversation that's still going through today. Most notably, I think of Remy Ma and her diss track titled Shifa, how much she really grilled her about this on that diss track. And a time that I know that so many of us remember as well, when Megan Thee Stallion released her diss track titled Hiss. And Megan Thee Stallion broke the internet after she rapped these lyrics: "These hoes don't be mad at Megan, these hoes mad at Megan's law." And if you don't know what Megan's law is a law in America that requires law enforcement authorities to make information about registered ex offenders available to the public. Megan's law was enacted to protect communities and children by ensuring citizens are aware of convicted ex offenders living in their vicinity. Remember how Kenneth Petty was arrested in March 2020 because he moved state and failed to register as an ex offender? Now you see how insane that bar is, right? And if you were on the internet during that time period, you remember that Nicki Minaj went absolutely insane on her IG lives and all of her manic tweets.
Bitch, I dare you. I fucking dare you, bitch, to say one more thing about my fucking family, ho. Fragment foot, bitch.
And the thing that perplexed me about Nicki's diss track is that Nicki kept mentioning Megan Thee Stallion's deceased mother. If you didn't know, Megan Thee Stallion has unfortunately lost both of her parents, and she's released so much music talking about that time period. Well, not just the time period, but the effects that it's had on her and her mental health. And then here comes Nicki Minaj with this.
You don't want that lied on your dead mama. On your dead mama, lied on your dead mama. Lied on your dead mama, lied on your dead mama. Lied on your dead mama, lied on your dead mama. Lied on your dead mama.
And we're going to talk about Nicki Minaj and her effect and influence on people and music a little bit later on within this video, but it's very important that I talk about this right here in this section. Following the release of Bigfoot, there was actually so many Nicki Minaj fans who were able to find the grave location of Megan's mother. In response to the threats and the leaked location, the Texas Cemetery reached out to local police and they had to bring in extra security personnel to remain on high alert of the gravesite. As you can imagine, there's so many things that are deeply disturbing and wrong about this entire situation. And one of the things that confused me about this is that in 2021, Nicki Minaj, she actually lost her father. And my thing is as well, she even released an album that was dedicated to him. She released songs that were dedicated to him. And she's spoken so much about the pain that she's gone through mourning the loss of her father. How is you as someone who firsthand knows the loss and the heartbreak of losing a parent, how are you now going out of your way to torment and taunt someone who has lost their parent as well? And there are too many people who are on Stan Twitter who have toxic parasocial relationships with their favourite artists who take things way too far and seriously forget about having moral compasses and just basic moral values. Nicki Minaj was recently on the Bryce Crawford podcast and deeply detailed about the ins and outs of the music industry, whether or not it is demonic, quote unquote, or not. As well as this, in this podcast, she also talks a lot about her faith and her Christian journey, as well as career regrets as well. In the podcast, she said, "A lot of the stuff I was rapping on, I was so young and I didn't realize that there were young people listening to it and how it could probably make them make certain decisions that wasn't really thought out about." And in the podcast, she really went on to say that lots of the stuff that she done in her past, she would change now. A user on Twitter actually responded to this by saying, quote unquote, "I was so young. Mind you, she released Super Freaky Girl at 40. Nicki Minaj has broken so many doors for so many female rappers to speak as boldly and as explicitly as they want to. And with her recent album, Pink Friday 2, that released in 2023, we see this from tracks such as Super Freaky Girl, Red Ruby the Sleaze, Barbie Dangerous, Pink Birthday, just to name a few. So there's that contradiction, even from that tweet that we saw earlier that I showed you guys as well, where it's like, how can you talk so negatively about the music industry? How can you talk so much about the demonic music that's been released? Well, you've also abided to that formula for many years, currently, still. Which is why for so many people it's hard to take Nicki Minaj's born-again Christian image seriously. Because it's like, how can you talk so much about faith and talk about so much about Christianity when you have so many songs that don't align with your beliefs? However, it's very easy to look at rappers and rap as a whole genre and look at the mainstream songs and the mainstream hits that come from the genre and automatically attest it to negativity or explicit nature until you actually listen to their discography, you listen to their albums, and you see that they have so many songs talking about vulnerability, talking about sadness, even talking about God as well. And Nicki is someone who's also had a track record of releasing gospel music. And even in her recent album, she released a song alongside Tasha Cobbs Leonard, an American gospel singer. And I believe that is their second collab that they've done together. And I feel like that's a common criticism that really holds much more weight, I would say, for female rappers as well. Not all of them are just talking about sex. Not all of them are just talking about explicit topics. Look at someone like Doechii, Megan Thee Stallion, talking about their vulnerability, talking about their anxiety. And the common criticism that so many Christians say is, how can you say that you're a believer of God? How can you say that you're a believer of Christ? How can you thank God in all of your speeches when your music doesn't align with your Christian beliefs? We were even having this discussion last year in 2025 when rapper Glorilla won the Dr. Bobby Jones Best Gospel / Inspirational Award for her song Rain Down on Me at the BET Awards. With many critics saying that Glorilla did not deserve that award, and that award should have been given to someone who's dedicated their whole life or their whole career to gospel music. But within this conversation, I'd like to talk about the difference in response between male and female artists. It's very easy to look at someone like a Nicki Minaj or Glorilla, who've released very explicit music and very explicit videos, to turn around and be like, how dare you release a gospel song? How dare you win a gospel award? But no one would really have that same element of them for male rappers who have done the exact same thing, such as an NLE Chopper or even Snoop Dogg. Hear me out. NLE Chopper is a rapper from Memphis, and he's spoken a lot about his journey with faith, even talking about spiritual awakenings, reading the Bible, and also studying Islam as well. But he also has music in his discography that don't always align with his faith. He even has a song called Slut Me Out too, and let's read a couple of lyrics together, shall we? Bitch, is we fucking or what? You sucking or what? Let me nut on your butt. Sorry. If I was a bad bitch, I'd want to fuck me too. I look so vulnerable saying this. I'd want to suck me too. I'd want to slut me too. If I was a bad bitch, I'd want to hump me too. I want to trap me too. Nothing freaky that I wouldn't do to me. No, I need a little sip of water. I think I lost the plot for a second. Let's go back to the video. You can even look at someone like Snoop Dogg. Snoop Dogg released a gospel album in the year of 2019 titled Bible of Love, and he even won the exact same award that Glorilla won in 2025. I want to say this, if any person like a Glorilla or a Snoop Dogg or NLE Chopper, if they release a sexually explicit song whilst also proclaiming their love and adoration for God and Christianity, I think it's very easy for us as viewers to point at them and judge them. And let me tell you why. It's easy to look at a celebrity and be like, how dare they do this and how dare they say this? Because they're on a platform and they're on a pedestal. And it's easy to look at a celebrity and judge them and their life choices and the kind of music that they make. But my thing is, an artist can sing about something, an artist can rap about something. We as ordinary people are the ones who are actually doing it as well. And circling this video all the way back to Nicki Minaj, now lots of her fans are actually asking themselves, so what direction is Nicki Minaj's musical career actually going to go into? Is she done with vulgar music? Is she done with explicit music? There's even some speculation I've seen, I don't know how true it is, that apparently she's going to team up with Erica Kirk and do some memorial song for Charlie Kirk. I don't know how true that is. If she does, that'll be interesting. Hey, that'll be interesting to say the least. Very much sort of detour from Super Freaky Girl. Shameless plug, if you enjoyed that last chapter of this video, you should definitely check out this video that I made titled Empowerment or Exploitation, the Truth About Explicit Content as a Career and Its Generational Effect. It should be somewhere up here. And the next question that people are asking themselves as well is, for this next era of her music, who is the audience for? Is it for her OG Barbs? Is it for the Erica Kirk fans? Is it for the Donald Trump fans? Who is the music for now? Once upon a time, once you heard of Nicki Minaj's name, it was automatically always associated to her music, her writing style, her music videos, or something creative. But nowadays, it feels like it's always riddled with some sort of controversy of, what did she do now? Which has left so many of her core fans divided and sad about what is, and constantly reminiscing about what was. It always feels a little bit sad when I see her on a podcast like Bryce Crawford's, and everyone in the comments is like, Nicki's the saving grace of Christianity. Nicki's the face of Christianity. This is what we needed. This is God speaking through her. Then you see she goes home to a man such as Kenneth Petty and has defended a man such as her brother Jelani Mirage. But for so many years, there's actually been so many scandals and allegations and beefs that she's gone herself into. But the common thing that so many of her fan bases have been able to defend her with is the fact that she's the queen of rap, the fact that she's sold so many millions of records, and the fact that she's one of the biggest artists of our generation. But now it gets to a point where that is not enough to defend her or defend or excuse her behaviour. The very valid and true criticisms about her have absolutely nothing to do with her music, have nothing to do with her writing, have nothing to do with her music videos, and everything to do with her character. This is something that even stuck with me when I made my video titled "Why Do We Keep Forgiving Chris Brown?", where users actually said that just because you have a fondness for an artist, just because you like an artist, doesn't mean that you have to excuse their behavior. If I hear someone bumping to Nicki Minaj, I'm not automatically going to side-eye them, because you think of her music and it takes you back to time, it takes you back to a place, maybe an album has really resonated with you. But when someone's going up in arms to constantly defend her, to constantly defend the men that she defends, it really makes you think, why? Why do you have all of this energy for someone who doesn't know you exist? It's going to be very interesting to see where her music career goes from here. And it's very sad to think that she's someone who really has ruined so much of her legacy, the legacy that she worked so hard to build and to create. I look at her and I think of someone like a Kanye West, where it's like, it's now a case where it's like, you guys are very talented people, very, very talented people, but you've ruined so much of your legacy and impact just by opening your mouth. Literally just from opening your mouth. And if you want to know my unfiltered opinion about it, I generally don't think that Nicki Minaj really cares that she's divided so much of her fan base. I generally don't think that she cares that she's lost so many brand deals and sponsorships just because of her new image, I guess. New image, new era, I guess you could say so. But that is all I have to say for today's video. As always, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I appreciate it if you made it to the end. Please be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. If you want to check out more of my videos, I have a title. No, I don't have a title. I have a playlist titled Deep Dive, so check out a bunch more of my deep dives as well. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.